Hello, everyone, and welcome back to New Mexico Entertainment Television, your source for all things events and entertainment in the state of New Mexico. I'm Teresa Robinson, and on tonight's show, we will be covering our March issue, which will be focusing on food right here in New Mexico. On tonight's show, we have Greg Zox from the new docuseries filmed here in New Mexico, Santa Fe Foods. Gwyneth Dolland with the Fiery Foods and Barbecue Show shares how the event has stayed popular for 33 years. Craig Jones from Three Sisters Kitchen will talk about their latest product. And Michelle Casalillo from the Oddities and Curiosities Expo discussing what inspired the event. So, let's get started. Santa Fe Foods is an episodic docuseries that will highlight the world-class chefs, restaurants, and food of one of the world's greatest food scenes in New Mexico. Director and executive producer of the series, Greg Zox, is here with us today to discuss it further. So, Greg, thank you for joining us today to talk more about this docuseries. You chose Santa Fe. What was it about this city that was the inspiration behind the docuseries?
Well, yes, thank you for having me. In a nutshell, Teresa and I, my wife Teresa and I, have had a lifelong love affair with Santa Fe in northern New Mexico since we were kids. In fact, Teresa's family has been in New Mexico for generations. So we've always felt that Santa Fe hasn't received its due as a truly world class destination. It really has it all. We love what most people love, the land, the sky, the people, the history, the recreation, the architecture, the art, the shopping, the food. Oh, yeah, that food, right?
Exactly. And you had to choose. I mean, there's so many different restaurants here, so many different chefs. You chose six. How did you even come to picking who was going to appear on the first season?
Yeah, great question. Seriously, we could have done 20 or 30 episodes in season one because you're right, there's just that much talent in Santa Fe. Ultimately, we had to make it doable. We felt that the personalities, the stories, the cuisine of these talented chefs deserved a longer format than what's been done before. This isn't a 30-minute hit and run format. It's much more cinematic, really high production values. So we decided to focus on only 6 chefs per season, and that was kind of the ultimate decision we had to make. One of the things that really impressed us about all of the chefs that we met, particularly these 6, is just how hard the people in the restaurant industry work. I don't think people really appreciate that much, and the dedication and passion that these chefs have for their team, their patrons, their food, and it's just really remarkable when you get behind the scenes, and that's what we're doing for our audiences, to get them behind the scenes, to get to know the chefs as people, as well as the talented chefs that they are, and they're really all just good, down to earth people. I think that TV has kind of played to the notion that top chefs are short tempered, screamers, and really difficult personalities. And
Yeah.
I'm sure some are somewhere, but all the the chefs that we've come to know in Santa Fe are truly nice and gracious souls. It's really been delightful.
Well, as our viewers are watching, and it's something you brought up, I feel like a lot of times people get involved with certain topics as a focus on a show, but really are not knowledgeable in it. They're just kind of like, that sounds neat. So, would you say you're a true connoisseur when it comes to New Mexico foods, or just a lover of New Mexican food?
Yes, I would.
It's both.
Yeah, it's actually both, really. Actually, New Mexican cuisine has been evolving since the 80s, 1980s, and perhaps before. The food scene in Santa Fe has so much diversity today. It's not just Southwestern style anymore, and it's still evolving. There's a wonderful fusion taking place. So I love the food, obviously, so does Teresa, and anybody that's tried it does. Um, but we love the way food brings people together. as Fernando Olea at Cezanne there in Santa Fe, the restaurant there, says, food nourishes, it comforts, and heals. And we just love the unity that food creates with people. And that's one of the great joys of doing this. So, yes, we love the cuisine. Yes, we love the chefs, the unity, the whole scene. Yeah.
So when it comes to our viewers learning more about this documentary, where can they go?
Well, right now we're in post production. Obviously, our goal is to share the beauty and the incredible immersive experience that are in Santa Fe and northern New Mexico with the world. To that end, we're speaking with people about getting it picked up by broadcast or on a streaming platform. I'm sure you can guess who the usual suspects are, right?
I would have my picks, but yes, the usual suspects. We got Netflix. We're looking at Hulu. I love Hulu. But yeah, I would figure streaming is the way to go right now. I mean, are you looking for it to possibly be more, national, like NBC, ABC, along those lines? Are you thinking that might also be a factor in choosing distribution?
Yeah, I think the value proposition is probably greater for everyone to have it on a streaming platform where it can be on the go. Um, I just think it less commercials or no commercials, which is always better, right? Um, but it's probably best for a streaming platform. We just feel like the quality of the stream and the formatting for television is just better that way.
Well, until you solidify who that distribution, you know, chain is going to be, how can people find out more about the television show?
Well, you can go to santafefoods.tv, which is the website. There's also a trailer that is on YouTube right now. So you can go to YouTube and in the search field, just put in Santa Fe Foods TV show. I think that'll probably pop up a little red round logo, and you'll see us there, and you can watch that. And we'll be probably putting some additional clips up. And at some point, maybe we'll have maybe we'll even have the pilot season 1, episode 1 up. But for now, yes, we are shopping it. So Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Discovery Plus, all you people, if you're listening, give me a call. We'll talk.
Well, thank you, Greg, for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing the show.
Thank you. Appreciate being on. Take care.
We'll be back.
A lot of people do the same thing, right? It's like New Mexican food is very much New Mexican food, which when you're here in New Mexico can be a little overwhelming. Like everybody wants it, everybody serves it, whatever. But like from an outside view, it's such a cultural thing, and it's such a like point of pride for us in New Mexico. Like our food is very much our food, and you can't say that about every city. Like you can say that about like New Orleans. You can say that about like like Nashville. Like all these cities have very much like their own strong culture, and it shines through their food. And I think we're lucky enough in New Mexico to have that, and I would put us amongst like the most culturally inspired foods there is in this country. So I think that's my favorite thing about it.
The Oddities and Curiosities Expo showcases hand-selected vendors, dealers, artists, and small businesses from all over the country with all things weird. Michelle Casalillo and her husband have always been collectors of strange and unusual items. Casalillo strives to be better and provide the best show of its kind around. This includes curating the vendors and adding various touches throughout the event to continue making it a comfortable and fun experience year after year. The Fiery Foods and Barbecue Show features 170 exhibitors and brings in an attendance of more than 20,000 people over the 3-day event. Each year, the show features over 1,000 different products from all over the world, cooking and barbecue demonstrations and samples. Event spokesperson Gwyneth Dolan shares more about what to expect with this year's event.
Thank you, Gwyneth, for joining us today to talk more about the Fiery Food Show, which is 33 years here in the state of New Mexico. What do you think how do you have such staying power with this event?
It's just freaking fun. I mean, that's the bottom line. People love coming to the show and seeing people in crazy outfits. They're dressed up like chilies. They got chili pepper hats. You get to see grown men just crying their eyes out after they've eaten some sort of ghost pepper sauce. You're washing it down with a local beer. It's just a good time.
So it's easy it could be easy to say that it's like, okay, great Chili's, another year of Chili's. How do you keep it so unique and fresh year after year?
I mean, partially we don't have to do that much work because the people who come to the show, the exhibitors, they change, they bring new stuff, they learn and they develop new products and they want to surprise us and shock us. So the variety of the vendors we have, I don't know, more than 120 this year. Wow. That's what keeps it fresh.
And when it comes to the vendors, what do you think it is that keeps bringing them back? Do you get a lot of repeat vendors for the show?
There's a lot of repeat vendors. So there are people who come every year and they're like, I'm here for my XYZ sauce. You know, I got it last year and the year before that. And then there's the quest for whatever is new. And you think it's just like Tabasco, Cholula, something like Tabasco, something like Cholula, but it's not at all. I mean, it's Selena's Biscochitos. It's spicy miso paste. It's like weird ketchups and cool barbecue rubs and ice cream and cookies and stuff you just never would have imagined. And not all of it searing hot. Some of it just kind of flavored with a little smoke and spice. So, I mean, it's nuts. Beer, beef jerky. I am not a person who thought that I was in the market for brittle, but that Brenda's Perfect Brittle, I can't stop eating that stuff.
It's amazing what they come up with that you could just stick some chili in. They're just about everything. So where can people go to find out more about the event?
We are fieryfoodsshow.com, and you can look for us, Fiery Foods Show, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Well, good. Thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to the show.
My pleasure.
We'll be back.
Three Sisters Kitchen is a nonprofit community food space in the heart of downtown Albuquerque, a place where delicious, affordable, and locally produced foods come together to nourish our community from the ground up. Craig Jones, the Food Group Program Director, is with us this evening to talk about the organization and their new product.
So, Craig, thank you for meeting us today so we could talk more about Three Sisters Kitchen. So, your organization reads like Eat, Pray, Love when I look at the website. I mean, you got eat, cook, learn. So let's start with the cooking and the eating, because this is a food issue. So, so tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure, yeah. So Three Sisters Kitchen, we're a nonprofit community food space in downtown Albuquerque. So our focus is to utilize the power and love of local food to create economic opportunity, improve community health, and bring our diverse communities together around the table. So the eat portion really relates to our cafe. The cafe was a chance for us to highlight as many local vendors as we can, really celebrating the bounty of New Mexico, as well as creating a space that is affordable and accessible to the general community as well. So we wanted to create a cafe that is really accessible and also celebrating local food.
Yep.
And the cooking portion of it really relates to all of our educational programming. We do a lot of different educational programming, all based around local food education, where it be nutrition or teaching people how to start their own businesses.
So you are actually, the other part we're looking at is a shop. You have a new product through Three Sisters Kitchen that you guys have been working on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we launched a product line in 2020 called TSK Food Group. It is a manufactured product line. We make a variety of New Mexico-inspired products, specializing in granola. So we have New Mexico, we call ourselves like the New Mexico-inspired granola product line. So we have red chili apricot pecan, green chili apple date, biscochito orange, blue corn mulberry, honey almond goji berry. We just wrapped up our seasonal granola, which we were doing prickly pear, ginger almond. It was really delicious. So that's a product line that we started when we had to shut down the cafe as a way to try and keep our employees still working, and also a way to keep working with some of the local farmers and providers that we'd established relationships with the cafe. But really what TSK Food Group has really turned into is a case study. It's a chance for us to actually teach our food business training students who are interested in starting their own food businesses how we started our food business. And then we can take those relationships, those lessons learned, and apply them to our teaching when we're teaching people how to start their own businesses.
And teaching is a big thing with the kitchen, which I was not aware. You guys do a lot of different classes. What are some of the ones that you do?
Yeah, so we have two in-house programs that we run. One is called Harvest to Health, which focuses on teaching home healthcare providers how to utilize local food and nutrition to support their work in home healthcare. And then we also have a program called the Food Business Training Program, where we teach aspiring entrepreneurs how to start their own manufactured food businesses.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's where TSK Food Group kind of helps to support that work that we do. In addition to that, we also have a lot of different community partners that we work with in teaching, different cooking classes to different groups of people around the city. And then we're also hoping to soon launch our own education space where we'll be hosting cooking classes that will be open to the general public as well.
Sounds great. That's wonderful. So where can people learn more about your organization?
So we have a website, threesisterskitchen.org. You can also follow us on social media, Three Sisters Kitchen NM. That's on Facebook and Instagram. And then if you're interested in learning more about the granola line specifically, we have our own Instagram handle for that, which is TSK Food Group.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming in and telling us more about everything Three Sisters Kitchen has to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back.
Hi, Chef Johnny V here from the Las Cosas Cooking School in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Here at our cooking school, we teach all sorts of classes: Thai, Vietnamese, Italian, French, as well as a wide variety of New Mexico-themed classes. We do technique classes where we teach you how to hold a knife. We teach you how to use a pressure cooker. We do lots of baking classes with a focus on high altitude cooking, which certainly affects baking at 7,000 feet. So we have a great time here, and I invite you to join us here at the Las Cosas Cooking School. And we have a little motto that says, "We cook for fun." So come and join us, and we hope to cook with you soon.
Here is your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. Dancing with the Stars Live is back in Albuquerque, featuring some of your favorite celebrity guests from the series. Dancing with the Stars Live takes place on March 11th at the Kiva Auditorium in Albuquerque. Sweet Honey in the Rock has charmed audiences all over the globe, celebrating nearly 50 years of performing. The group mixes traditional African music, gospel, and civil rights consciousness. Sweet Honey in the Rock performs on March 18th at Pope Joy Hall in Albuquerque. No matter where or with whom he plays, world-renowned Southern blues rock guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter Tinsley Ellis always plays with grit, soul, and unbridled passion. Tinsley Ellis performs on March 24th at the historic Lobo Theater in Albuquerque. This has been New Mexico Entertainment in 60. For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of New Mexico Entertainment, where you continue to be in the know. Join us next month, where we will focus on our entertainment issue. We'll be looking at new productions and the art of theater. Have a great night.
For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.